This is Dan Max at EXP Real Estate, the Trade Agent. This is your live market recap, review, whatever. Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. It's a couple minutes before 2:30. I figure if there's anyone around, we can open up dialogue. If not, I was going to review the Moderna trade that we put on today. So I wanted to get here a little early, get started, get comfortable in my seat, warm up, stretch, get ready for the real fun tomorrow, FOMC day. Odds of rate hike, 0. Odds the media is going to make it seem like they were going to raise rate because oil was going higher, 1,000%. The odds that the feds do nothing, 100%. Hey, Pierre, how are you doing today? So, yeah, come on in. Got a couple minutes before I record and just do the quick daily recap and want to just open up and talk about the Moderna trade if there's anyone around. Also, too, if you're in the Discord room and want to drop a question, learning chat, por favor, or friends trading chat, my bad. That's where you drop it. All questions. So, again, I appreciate all the love and support, some generous donations today. Again, I know some people are absolutely, man, on point. And people are like, man, you were absolutely killing it. It's like, man, just getting in the flow, trying to get in the flow, trying to understand the markets, not from the perspective of what I want. How can the market makers take the most amount of money from the most amount of people? Been there, done that. Been screwed over, been walked into every trap possible. So again, that's why I appreciate all the donations. Because people who donate realize I'm saving you a huge amount of money on your tuition bill. You don't need to lose 7 figures like me over the course of time, up and down. You just don't want to. Sipping on a drink. And yeah. All right, let's do the Moderna stuff. Trying to get a swig of something real quick. Daily. I had it at the close yesterday. Said it was looking interesting. Opening action. Drop. Bear trap. Takes out the lows. Rally it back. Was hoping at the close it would get the 10-minute special. We didn't get it. It's one where you retest the AM high, you back off, and then you go. But so far, I mean, so good. I mean, some people hit me up and they're like, oh, you got to hate this stock and Pfizer, Moderna, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, again, hating a stock, again, I don't trade morality. If I did, I mean, you don't trade morality. You just trade the stocks and its formation. So if you got in around 105 or minus, I like this. It looks like a little W, like my man Coop said. You got a bear trap here. You look below, failed, rally back. I mean, 50-day seems like a tractor beam. Maybe the 100-day. I mean, you just never know. I mean, and this is where, when in doubt, all trades start on the monthly, right? Can I get the monthly, please? Where are you? Where are you monthly? Where did I? You're like, Dan. Oh, there she be. Here you go. All trades start on the monthly. Now, again, I mean, I'm not sitting here going, oh, we're going back to 140. Nah, but if you saw a price handle of, you do the math here. I don't know. It's risk reward. It comes down to simplicity. If you look at this as a big channel, right? And you know how we love channels. Don't change the channel. Make sure you tune in. Stick around. Sorry, just trying to make a stupid joke. But if this is the breakout below trap of the channel, this is a monster bear trap. And then look what happened. Rip back. And what do we always say? What do we always say? Does anyone listening potentially say the first pop should pull back at some point? Just like coming off the highs. The first dip will get bought. We don't know for sure. But damn, I like this setup. I mean, again, change the name from Moderna to whatever. Instacart. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, whatever your favorite name is. AMC. GameStop. I like this setup. If it is going to bounce, it'll bounce pretty hard. And again, if it doesn't, well, guess what? You minimize your risk. You define your stops. You move right the F along. All right, we about at 230. Yeah, we're going to get there in a second. So any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Because that's the one trade I'm looking at. Again, people talking about, oh, shorting here. I'm like, please don't take profits. What do we take? We talk about a rug pull. Then we talk about there's going to be a rug pull before the FOMC. You got it. Now what? Now tomorrow's FOMC. Good luck. Roll the dice. Who the hell knows? Trade the extremes. First move is a trap. After that, who knows? So let's see if we get some people in here. Could also form an M, I guess. Think about this again before I do the recap. If this is a big chop channel, you of course could be an M. This would be the bear trap. And again, bear traps can happen on weekly and monthly, right? Like this is the look below, pop back, the first dip, boom. I mean, you could, yeah, always an M, always a possibility. But again, I don't even want to overthink it that hard. It's either going to work or it's not. Your risk is defined, and that's what you can lose, and we'll see what the hell happens. I mean, we could sit here and that's where I swear to God, people get into trades and then they start looking at the news and trying to confirm everything with all sorts of irrelevant evidence. You know how much time I spent researching Moderna today? Anything not the chart? Take a guess. How much time? What effort did I give to search anything fundamentally on Moderna today? A hot 0%. Nothing. Didn't even look up the short interest. Don't care. Just whatever. Who cares? I hate when people get into a trade and they start looking up articles and they're trying to like reaffirm evidence in a trade. Let the chart talk. I don't need to know what's going on with them. All I need to know is that if you want to get oil down, you start screaming COVID. That's all I need to know. That's kind of my thesis here. We know global growth slowing. If you want to get oil down, you scream COVID. We all not agree. That is the easiest way. Anyone else? Forever hold your peace. Any other quick questions before I do the quick review and then open mic it again? I love the open mic stuff. The questions are good again because you're learning. I mean, again, people are like, oh, what do you benefit from? I'm like, yeah, because I'm reviewing this stuff myself personally. Like it gives me an opportunity to sit here and review it. I'd be doing it on my own. Instead, I get to talk about it, and you guys get to throw in your insights and thought processes, and maybe. I mean, again, Coop, I mean, this was your trade. I mean, you pointed this one out. So, sounds like a good way to get oil down. Yeah, COVID. What's up, Scott? Double bottom flush. Wait, what? A double bottom? What does that say? I can't read. Double bottom TLT or flush? I mean, again, it's no different than Moderna. Don't overthink it. Pierre, like it's either it's going to hold, define your risk or not. I think way too many people get caught up with the idea of certainty. You're probably reading all these things about bond yields and dollar this and country risk and debt, and you could spend 7 hours trying to research what you think bonds are going to do fundamentally. And all you got to do is just turn it all off and look at the charts, look at the best areas to buy, put your trade in, and then define your risk, set your stop. See how easy that is? But instead, people make it real hard. Let's research why bonds move. I was talking to Deanna today, and she was asking me about M2 money supply and the market and all this stuff, and I was like, you know, I pay attention to that stuff, but in the end, like, how many times have you been misled by the media and the news to tell you, like, well, look at this, and look at that, and look at this, and look at this, and then you read all this, and it's like the opposite happens. Like, who imagined AI, would bubble the way it did in a recession? Essentially, a soft recession. I call it a silent recession. Who would have thought it would bubbled up? I mean, if you would have just kept shorting semis endlessly, you got destroyed. Nothing made sense about it. So if you want to get caught in the mental trap of fundamental analysis and ego belief that something has to happen because of this and this and this and this and that and that, just be careful. Be careful what you wrap your mind around. Attachment, think of be like Buddhist. No attachment. No attachment to anything. If you can get that mindset, just attachment to your risk management. That makes sense? Any questions, thoughts, concerns? What did XOP bounce back? I'm gonna throw MPC back into the list because now my man Solstice and Sab are on it, and that thing just looks really freaking ugly. All right, I'm trying to finish up my drink here. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Sorry for the sounds. Got a slushy from Dutch Bros. Lemon, lime, raspberry, Rebel Freeze. Slushy. It is fire. Okay. I'm done. We're good? No questions? Whoa. No, Danny, I was just kind of joking about or not joking, but talking about Moderna. I'll go into it later too. I mean, if you really want to, it's not, we just kind of talk about generalities. I'm going to get into it a little deeper here in a second. So I'm going to record starting in like 2 seconds. What? Insta-turd. Love it. All right. Well, trust me, you'll have my full attention if you want it here in like 15 minutes. This is Dan Max, eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review, Tuesday, September 19th, 2023. Hopefully you're having a great day. Hopefully you remember that we talked about there might be a rug pull and then a little bit of volatility, but chop the Monday and Tuesday before the FOMC meeting. Well, you got it. If you're trading around your positions, trading the extremes, you probably played some up, you played some down, you followed some trades, you're hitting some singles, doubles, maybe you hit a home run somewhere, I don't know, depending on how much leverage, what you're doing. But either way, it should be so far a good Monday and Tuesday. Let's keep the momentum rolling. Let's see what to expect coming forward. FOMC day tomorrow, 2 o'clock. The announcement, going nowhere at 2:30. They'll talk. The talk is where you get some volatility. Be prepared for up and down. If you have options and you want to sell them into the volatility, great idea. Because again, you're going to get some crazy action and up and down. Just be prepared. And first direction is typically the trap. I personally have mixed feelings about what I think could happen. I think we could get blown out or we could rally, which is crazy to think like that the extreme is that much. With the VIX this low, we could rally up. The market could or get smoked and the VIX rally, or I could see a little trap of both. Either way. Either way, just be safe. If you're new to the channel, join the Discord room. Links in the description below. If you're listening on the YouTubes, please hit the notification bell so that you know when I'm going live. You will literally get in there and it'll pop it up. Like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Again, I appreciate all the love, support, the generous donation. Some of you guys, especially Danny today, he gave a donation. I appreciate it, man. Like, again, hopefully your tuition bill and it's paying for itself, because in trading, you don't know what you don't know. You can't read a book on this stuff. You have to live it. It's like learning how to be an amazing guide of some sort, or a pilot. I mean, you can read the book, but you gotta get in the air. You gotta get on the ground. You gotta do this stuff. A lot of people haven't lived through the markets for 20 plus years. Follow on Twitter, dropping tons of trades, as y'all know, blah, blah, blah. If you're new to the website, thetradingagent.com, back to basics. I'm telling you guys, if you're not moving any money out of Schwab and some of these brokerages, please look at Interactive Brokers. Use this link below, referral. I will drop it in the chat. It's well worth it because I have money in Schwab, and what am I doing? I'm not waiting for the shitstorm to hit. I'm going to move it out now. And we all know Schwab has issues, and there's plenty of companies that are going to have issues. I love Schwab's setup too, but I don't trust them at all. They're legit, but they could literally go out of business. If you look at their assets, they are leveraged in the wrong places. They are screwed potentially. And if you'd like, it's up to 5.4% today. So Marcus Goldman accounts, booyah. Loving it. Got to update that. Fed Watch tool. Let's refresh it. Can it go any higher than 99%? 99%. It's a lock. It's a pause tomorrow. Remember we talked about the narrative that if oil comes down just a little bit, they're going to say, oh, look, the feds are going to pause. They're not going to raise rates tomorrow. They were never going to raise rates. If this is over 66%, They're not raising rates. End of story. Bitcoin, got to give it credit. Holding up. Can it get back into the 28,000 range? Personally, like gold, dead money. Oil. Man, look at that. Hit our fib. Some of you guys said wait till then to short it. I did not short oil, but damn, if you guys didn't use my own analysis and say wait for that 50% fib. Close enough for government work. Could retest it. But again, we talked about, right? Like, don't short oil service. Oil will top last. So far, so good. Natural gas. Oh my God. Could it go anywhere less? The dollar. Up 9 straight weeks. Ooh. Going for 10? It's hard to say. Who knows? Who really knows? TLT. And what is that? Chop. I mean, was I talking in the recording earlier? Like, if you like it down here, it makes sense. Just define your risk. Don't marry bonds. Don't marry them. Hold. And if it folds, define your risk. You gone. VIX, expecting some poppage. We got a little bit today. I mean, I think we could still get to the 100-day, maybe 15, 16. I mean, you might want to sell some, if you got leverage ETFs, you might want to sell some calls on a pop. The Thursday post FOMC is usually the day that matters. Personally, I've got long-term holdings of leveraged ETF, bear ETFs. I'd like to sell calls on a decent pop in the VIX on those ETFs, like calls on those ETFs. But if it's not going anywhere, I'm just going to let it do its thing. I mean, I think the VIX is going to wake up in time. Wakey, eggs and bakey. Vivix, I mean, it's just chopping, holding around. There's really not, this is what we expect. This is why you pay to be, I guess you don't pay. This is why you hang out with me. We know what we're talking about. We're talking about the chop. Here you go, another Doge City. Interesting level. Hit right onto AT. You're welcome. Q. Chopping. Trend line. Again, under the 20-day. You know it's going to come back at some point. This is the game. The FOMC. And if it's not, that's the outlier. When I say well, you mean more than likely, This is interesting. This just caught my eye. IWM looks like absolute trash. Right? Trash shitty. All right, well. I think that small cap to large cap ratio, like underperformance, is that like a 22-year underperformance? We'll see. Small caps lead. Just a matter of when. Dia high, dia ho. This stuff just looks chop bound. Gold, it rallied into the FOMC meeting, chopping around. Your guess is as good as mine. Dollar's up 9 straight weeks. This stuff is due to bounce, but I don't trust it. I like it later in the year. Silver held the range of lows. Not a lot to say here. GDX, this stuff just, again, the reason why people don't realize why I talk about this stuff is because I've been trading gold in the miners. And no, gold is not going to 1,200 before a massive bull market. That's the stupidest thing you've said today. But you'll probably impress me later with something else. GDXJ. Again, it's all going to chop around. I just don't have like this huge affection to like really wanting to do anything at this point in this whole sector. It's just, you're playing with, again, the best time to buy this stuff will be the Fed pivots. It can get crushed when the market gets crushed. If you want to play the volatility and then short it, buying the dust, I get it, but you got to get certain things. AG, I'd love to see this in a $3 range. AEM. What is this? Gold going to 1,200. Come on, man. Okay. Again, we'll buy Walgreens next. I don't know. I don't know these comments where they come from. I swear, as like somebody reading the news and trying to parrot it back. It's like, do we have like a it's like the Matrix dropping in somebody that's trying to like market maker nonsense. AEM going nowhere. Yep, going nowhere. It's like parroting like what the market makers wants here. Please don't. We trying to do what they're doing, not what they want us not to do, or what get people to make mistakes. Newmont, we talked about it. It was looking good, like a rally. Said the 50-day range closed. You're gonna probably get that. PAAS. Yeah, chopping around, not too much. Let's get into tech. That's where all the money is at. Taiwan Semi. Now, compressing here, making new lows. Could it fill the gap and then rally back? This one's ugly. This one's ugly. Micron, again, love the short up here. Just give it, define your risk, give it time. AMD, chopping around, going nowhere. I mean, all these names that are near the lows probably could rally. It's kind of like NVIDIA, same thing, like probably could pop up. We said maybe like 445 or 455, 450, this 50-day. Again, I'm going to talk about levels of things that I think would be worth shorting if they got to. That's obviously one of them. Oops, excuse me. Intel, man, they had their Intel day today. Somebody yesterday was trying to troll me like, oh, buy it at 25. It's, what about the people who bought it at 25? I'm like, well, if you shorted it at 40 or you sold deep in the money cover calls on this stock, you're good. But if you're just going to hold it and ride it back down to whatever it's going to happen, good luck. What an ugly candle for Intel. SMH. 100-day. I mean, not surprised. I mean, could it go back down to 144? Great. But if it pops back up into the 150, 151 plus, I think you can short it. And again, when I say all this, don't go out there and do it without risk management. I'm just saying this makes sense. Adobe, 20-day, not surprised, rallying back. Apple, I have a target on this one, like 180, 181, somewhere. I mean, everyone's like, oh, the 20-day. I mean, if we're going to get the 20-day, we're probably going to get a little higher. Amazon, yes, absolutely. You shorted this and then you took profits today. Yes, love it. Easy, 10 points. 10 points. If you had options, you probably doubled them, maybe tripled them if you had short-dated ones. High five. Now you take the profits, let the pressure build right back. I've got this like one. I mean, could we fill the gap here? I could see that. I've got 140, an alarm set. Could it get 141? Sure, whatever. Don't bring a ruler. Don't bring a ruler to trading. CRM, would love to see it up in the 220s. It's kind of chopping around. Guggenheim, no love. Man, I just got an email from Schwab. I guess they don't like me talking about them. Chopping around up here. Looks like it's just kind of doing its thing. Meta. I don't know about Meta. I really don't. I'm kind of moving. Like, if I don't have an opinion, I'm not going to say anything. It just seems like it's stuck. Microsoft hit its trend line. One of the trend lines. I mean, you'd want to see it bounce. That's all I'd look for. NDAQ. Breaking trend, chopping around. I mean, this is what you get sometimes when the market volatility, like you just hug these trend lines and it just blows people out of their mind. MicroStrategy. I mean, man, you would think this would be popping with Bitcoin's not Netflix and not chill. We talked about yesterday how it's compressing. It's probably due to bounce. I mean, if you want to play it up, I mean, it's highly likely that it's going to probably pop at some point. It's gotten absolutely throttled. Roblox. We talked about this popping and then flopping again. Here it goes. So someone hit me up when it's 21, when it can officially buy alcohol. Tesla, put this one on your radar. 272 area plus. I think that makes sense. Back to this trend line, maybe like into this gap. But again, all these, let them breathe, let them come in. Materials, X. I mean, this is the buyout target. They actually guided up today, which, again, they must be doing something good. I don't know. I mean, did they bring back what was the founder's name? Oh, man, 1800. So all of a sudden, it's not Schwab was one of the people who was involved in this. But, yeah. What is his name? Why can't you remember? Oh, well. Nucor. Holding up. Talked about 200-day. This kind of looks like it has a little bounce in it, right? I mean, I don't know if I'd short these steel names, but like Caterpillar, yeah, every time it hits the blue zone, short, M chop top. Seems likely. Waiting for like, again, 283 plus. It might try to like do a little, like it could be like as quick as like on the 10-minute. Look at this. It could be something like this in the morning where it just goes, and then it goes right back. And then doom. That's what you should be looking for. Yeah, Carnegie. Yep, thank you. VALE. Let's talk about U.S. Steel. Interesting action. Big volume today. Wow. Interesting. Yeah, I have to come back and see this one. That one, again, that kind of tickles my fancy seeing that. Arrow, probably 200-day coming at some point. Not going anywhere. CCJ, what did we say? We said this candle was not very pretty. And then look what happened today. She, are you surprised? No. You can spot the tops. It's just sometimes it doesn't happen that day. Yeah. We love ag names. Just chop it around. Let them come on down. I'm impressed. More Mosaic is like back testing the trend line. They all kind of look like this. Like they've been sloppy, chopping around. Not a whole lot to say. Again, these recaps, sometimes there's not a lot to say. I mean, you're kind of stuck here until tomorrow, and then you got to do what you can with the action. AA Aeron. I mean, I love this stuff long term, but man, I just need to see I need to see it get blown out. XLFer. Put this on your watch list. I mean, if you get anywhere near 35, I think you can short these. JP Morgan. Again, with stops, I mean, if you can, let me write that exact. If you get JP Morgan at the 50-day, holler at your boy. 151. I'm just writing all these down. Because if I get there, I got to set the alarm. Boom. Short that. Morgan Stanley. Where are you at, my friend? What level do we want? Really want the 90 level, but I don't know if we'll fill the gap. I mean, I guess just put 90 plus. That's probably the safest number. Goldman Sachs. Dale Carnegie. Yep. At the Trant. Man, this one's just really chopping around. I'd really like to see that 347. Is it 340? Yeah, 347. I'd watch that. KRE, I mean, today was just, I mean, it looked like crap earlier. I mean, it still kind of looks like crap, but a doji today, I mean, again, all these names are due to bounce. They're going to try to rally the market. They're going to try to talk their book. It's like earnings. Like, what CEO? Like, do you think Powell wants to come out and say, we have nothing under control and we're a bunch of clowns? No, they're not going to say that. XBI gets back to range low, is probably going to bounce. TAN solar stuff. I mean, it's new lows. ENPH, I know people were excited. The CEO bought some shares. Remember when he sold them up here? We told you guys that was a problem. Remember that? Now he's buying some down here. Again, is he trying to like stave off like absolute? I mean, he probably made hundreds of millions of dollars. And so he's like, all right, well, what if I buy $1 million worth of shares? It'll get people excited. We'll see. I've seen CEOs try to stop the bloodletting by doing that. But solar's got some issues. Cedriton, good God. I mean, it just because it could get any worse than that. Wow. First Solar bottomed at $1,166.66. I don't know what's up with these freaking devil worshiping 666 motherfuckers. Saturn 6 worshipers. Again, it's just a number. People laughing when I say this. I'm like, man, I know a lot about all this stuff. It's interesting when you're in finance. There's a lot of people who are silly folks. Yeah, holding. Like literally, the low of the day was 66666. Interesting. Anyway, HYG, we talked about this. Like all of a sudden, ratings drop. Power lost. HYG. Yeah. I mean, it looks stuck. Just watch on it. Moderna, we talked about that, throwing that in the loop. Nice little bear trap here, potential. Like, again, think of this as like if this is a weekly chart. Or a monthly chart. Like, this is a bear trap below, potentially to rally, squeeze up, knock some shorts out, and then maybe it goes lower. I don't know. But either way, we'll define a risk in, out. Bada boom, bada bing. USO. I'm looking for the miners to drop. I'm looking for the miners to always to be dropping. We told you. High volume at the highs. Oil peaking alert. UNG chopping. You can't even see it. XOP, if you shorted this in the 154, hopefully you took a little bit of profit today because again, we could rally back. I mean, I've got a 150 handle to reload. I mean, anywhere 150, 151. Where did I get it? Yeah, 150 plus. Ding about. Makes sense to me. ExxonMobil, set the alarm. 118, 119, ding, 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 ding. Do it. I mean, again, I think you can short these things with defined risk. Do not sit here and go, oh, you were wrong, and you go crazy. No, it's the easy trade. Define your risk. NPC, the J Solstice special, my man, Sabi. Yeah, open high, kapow. Man, the volume the other day was very ominous. Any rally. I mean, I don't know exact price, but any rally makes sense. Occidental, the Buffett King selling calls, chop, chop, chop. PXD, of course, it's not going anywhere, but heading lower in time. But that's so far so good, holding 232 in my opinion. EQT, we talked about this one. Adios. I mean, any rally probably gonna get sold. Flex LNG. All right, Yeah, chop. I mean, I think we'll be a natural gas exporter. If you have any questions, please reach out. Link for the Discord room description below. Folks, also too, let me do a real quick on real estate. If you're looking to buy real estate, investment deals, whatever, be prepared. There could be a huge drop in interest rates as the feds do what? Raise rates to crash the market. And the rates start going lower as they proceed to talk because they know they will pause and lower later. The bond market will be in the future. If you are prepared mentally with the cash, you put it away. You talk to your loan officer. You have a great agent. If you don't have an agent, let me help you out. Find one. You have I can get a referral, and you'll have 2 agents for the price of one. Point being, long story short, that's when you're going to find the deals. And especially if it happens during the winter, and there's people who are selling who are like, I have to sell, and there's no one else to buy, and it's only you, an investor, and you're just sitting there like a trade coming to you. Same thing with investing in real estate. Again, think of a real estate as another little 401k. You're going to get paid over time and inflation. It's a good hedge. Oh my God. You got to have something in your portfolio. You can't just be all stocks all the time. And then maybe you pass along to your kids. Maybe the cash flow is to pay for your retirement. All right, hit me up. Use the Calendly link, 30 minutes. Again, someone used it today. I'm here. Again, I don't sit around here and watch the paint dry. All right, let's keep this going in the live chat. Talk to y'all later. I'm still here. I am still here. Did not go anywhere. What is up? Schwab, I'm telling, dude, I know, 666 was the 2009 S&P bottom, mark of the Goldman. Yep. Dude, be careful with Schwab. Scott, I know you're talking the book again. Again, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Excuse my language. But you seem to be contradicting a lot of the things that I'm trying to make you aware of. If you don't agree, that's fine. But I'm telling you, go look at Schwab's assets. They have massive amounts of risk. Massive amounts of risk. Back in the day, before the market tanked in the banking, I told people, get out of Wachovia. I said, you're going to have to be careful with Bank of America. You have to be careful with some of these bigger banks. Washington Mutual. Bear Stearns. We talked about all of these things, man. Lehman. You're like, if your money is tied up in a place that there's no guarantee they're going to survive, you might want to take it out now. Don't wait until the shit hits the fan. I'm telling you, it's just you're playing with fire. What's your lean tomorrow on the SPY and the Fed? Just got in here and missed the video. Good shit lately. Thanks, man. My thinking on the Fed tomorrow, it's going to be all over. I think you're going to get a spike. The VIX probably 15, 16. Market drop, chop around, and then Thursday and Friday will be the real day. Look at the Stock Traders Almanac, Thursday and Friday, bear days. Bear days. We'll see. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Again, I'm telling you, do not have your fucking head in the sand. And excuse my language, but I'm serious. If you got Schwab or some of these other not crappy, but these brokers that have legitimate financial risk, you do not want your money tied up because it could take who the hell knows how long to get that money back. And if it's FDIC insured, great. But do you want your money frozen? Do you want to be trying to take money out while everybody else and their mom is trying to take money out? Do you want to fight that battle? No. I'm just telling you. I've loved Schwab. I love their platform. But guess what? If they go out of business, what good is that? What kind of trading can I do if my funds are frozen? Oh, they're going to be taken over by JP Morgan Chase, right? Okay, cool. Maybe. You do not know, so don't assume. Do not assume. It's like a hurricane's coming. Stage 5 hurricane. All right, don't board up your house. See what happens. You know, leave your car out in the driveway. See what happens. I mean, you want to be reactive, you want to be proactive. I'd rather be proactive. If it means I need to change brokerage, then I change brokerage. I'm not going to sit here with my thumb up my ass and watch institutions over time blow up and see people's... there's stories of certain banking institutions that took 7-8 years for people to get whole after 2008, 2009. You're welcome, Pierre. 7 to 8 years to get their money back. Is that and they didn't pay you for interest. No. You didn't get interest on your money. No. This conversation is so naive, and that's why I was about to rip your head off, Scott, during the live chat, because I'm like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. You don't. You just don't. And that's the thing. To try to like pretend that, well, my parents have money at Schwab or your parents, I don't care. I'd be doing everybody a disservice if I was not completely 1000% genuine honest about the situation. Because if your money gets frozen somewhere, what good is it? It's no good. What are you going to do? How's your family going to live? Do you want to rely on a government bailout? What if you get pennies on the dollar? You don't know. You don't know. So don't lie to yourself and pretend like you do know. I don't know what the outcome. Maybe I'm completely wrong and nothing happens. Great. Interactive brokers, from my eyes, they're just a brokerage. They're not leveraging in institutions. They're not taking on like a big institutional brokerage like a lot of these other guys. That's from what I've known. Again, if someone knows better than I've seen no vulnerabilities. They survived 2008, 2009, no problem at all. Again, I mean, they're just strictly a brokerage. They're not like Goldman Sachs where they're like taking people's money on leveraging it a ton. Are you talking about Schwab trading account? I'm talking about all of Schwab stuff. Anything related to Schwab. I don't have the article in front of me, but I was looking at the assets they have. It's like, holy crap, this could be the Titanic. And again, there's always going to be a big name that drops. Remember, the banking crisis is a multi-stage game. It's not a one and done. Just like in 2007, like it took 2 years almost for it all like literally to blow out. Yeah, I have Schwab too. I'm just like, I'm not going to sit here. Again, do your own research. Yeah, exactly. They directly against retail, they do. So again, I'm not going to tell myself that everything's going to be okay when I do the homework and I look at it and I go, I don't trust these guys. Again, could they get a bailout, all this stuff? I mean, no one's saying they couldn't, but do you want to be involved in that? What if you have shorts going into that and all of a sudden they freeze your account? What if you had puts, calls? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? I don't know what I would do. Pray. Yeah, I mean, imagine if you had options. Oh, God. I just... what if you had puts and you're absolutely killing it, and then all of a sudden they unfreeze it and your puts are worthless? I'm just trying to be honest here. What if you had a leverage ETF short and you hit a home run? It went triple to quadruple, but then when the time you're allowed to access your account, it's cut in half. Unreal. I mean, again, I don't know what the purpose of like someone trying to defend Schwab is. I'm just telling you, if you go look at their assets, look at what they've got. I mean, they've got a lot of junk on there. I gotta find the articles, but look at their stock. What is it? SCHW, right? It doesn't look that good. It's stuck at their reference point. Like you had this novice gap to the 200. Maybe your best hedge for having a Schwab account is shorting Schwab. I don't know. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Let's open it up. Because again, I think Fed Day tomorrow, the first move is going to be a trap. You're going to see some wild action. If you're trading gold and silver, good luck. If you have options, you probably want to sell options going into the volatility just to be safe. You never know. If you have calls or puts, you could absolutely get smoked. But as it gets closer to the Fed release, you will get a rise in the volatility, so you should get some pricing in options. Moderna, yeah. Why do I always do it? It's mRNA. I always do MNRA. It's like the modern NRA. No. Yeah, I talked about this.
Connection lost.
Oh, who's talking? Connection lost. Did I lose internet? Can I get a confirm real quick? The computer said the internet was cut. Where is... Hold on. Okay. We okay? Cool. Surprised. Okay, my VPN went in and out. Can you hear me? Proton. Yeah, I bet it is.
Market data connection lost.
Thank you.
Market data connection reestablished.
Thank you. It was connecting. I have a bunch of Schwab and interactive brokers, all sorts of fun stuff. All right, VPN. Do work, son.
Market data connection lost.
Okay, you're going to have
Trading connection reestablished. Market data connection reestablished.
Oh, listen to that. Wait for the Fed reaction to re-enter TLT. All right, we got a bunch of questions. Good. Yeah, my trading accounts are speaking. You are an idiot. What? It's like, how did it know? TLT, I'll go into this. Oh, is it? Cool. Again, I think you can get in here. You don't know what's going to happen with the TLT. I mean, if you're defining your risk and you're saying this is close enough, define your risk, stop out. That's all I can tell you. I think it's like bonds make sense here. But the Fed reaction, what if bonds just go straight screaming? We don't know, because this is the thing that makes it hard, right? You have had the chop here. But what if it dumps and then rallies back? It's really hard. Yeah, I have a core just looking to add. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I mean, it's all risk management at this point. I mean, it makes sense down here. I said anytime you saw a 92 handle, makes sense. That's all I can say on that. Will the VIX ever see 20 again? Nope. And next question. No, of course it will. I might even say it next week. 25th, end of the month, end of the quarter. I mean, don't be surprised if people start running for the exits. End of the quarter. Yeah, look at the end of last quarter, right? What was it? July, June? Yeah. End of the last couple months, we've had some pops in the volatility. Will we ever get to 20? Honestly, like, I'm surprised we're not trading in like 15 to 18 range. But this has been pure VIX determination. And this is the thing about humility in trading. Like, people are like, oh, I have classic haters that will just constantly troll always. And I'm like, do you not realize we're just trying to hit 8 out of 10, right? Do you always win? Look what you're doing. I guarantee I'd be laughing at your trades. At your, internet, I see it spinning. Oh, and we're back. Spinning. It's like, do you just want to drop an ad? Is that what you're trying to say? Okay. Yeah. It's hard to say. It is really hard to say what the right answer is with the VIX and the volatility. But I would be willing to bet without a doubt. End of month. I'm just writing, going to my next page. End of month volatility expected. Up. And that's for next week. Maybe we get it this week. Maybe we get like a 6-10% correction based on this. Who the hell knows? Define your risk. Try to wait for extremes. That's all I can really say. It's
market data connection reestablished.
Okay. You're being put to bed. Yes, I want to exit. Kayate. So, any other thoughts, concerns, questions? I think there's some really good trades. Like we talked about, levels popping. Amazon 140, 141, ExxonMobil 118 plus, Apple 180, 181 area, Tesla 272s in the trend line, Micron anything over 71, XLF if you get a 35 handle, maybe the fast short 69, 68, Airbnb 145 plus, CRM 220 plus, Caterpillar 283 plus, XOP 150 plus, JP Morgan 151, Morgan Stanley 90 plus, Goldman Sachs 347. Yeah, and again, you should always expect volatility in an FOMC meeting. Always. Yeah, try to put in the good work and time. This is the thing. Like, my insights can only be as good as your questions that you guys ask, because maybe it's something that you really don't know. It's hard for me to remember everything. Were you looking at Moderna? Got interrupted, missed it? No, I just said that it's just a big bear trap potentially. And bear trap meaning bears are trapped down here and you could rally, squeeze up. We have like the bear trap today where you make a lower low but then rally back. I thought we'd squeeze into the close. Clearly it didn't happen, but we held up. I wouldn't be surprised if the 50-day seems very like very, 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 very magnetic. And then you got the 200-day. I mean, I think would it make sense? I mean, look at this stuff. I mean, you can't not see this, right? Big high volume highs and high volume lows. Love to retest. Take a 140 ride. I would be okay. No, I don't know. I'm trying to like run that into a Christmas song. Like that'd be a great trade if you started buying some of the calls and the 105 calls and it turned into a 500 bagger, 500%, 5xer, 10xer. Wouldn't be so bad. Again, if you've traded long enough with calls, or puts, you've seen monster moves like that, but they don't happen all the time, and then sometimes they go to zero. So hence why I always tell people, trade options like they're going to zero. You don't ever want that, but if you have no time and a gap down happens, a gap up against you, whatever you want to call it, gap and trap, you could get slaughtered. That's why time is crucial, or defining your risk. If your risk is just to buy 5 calls and you're like, fudge it, and it blows up, great. If it doesn't, you've got to be aware, be thoughtful. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns, feedback, hate. Man, I'm just aggressively attacking Scott today, as usual. Not in a mean way, just like, what are you saying? Again, I mean, like, if I needed someone to parrot the CNBC / retail mindset thought process, this would be like stock twits. This would be literally no different than, like, again, dialed in to dog shit mentality. Think like the market makers. I'm telling you, that is the goal. The goal is not to do what everyone else is doing and try to be smart and try to think you're outsmarting the market makers. No, I have no desire to outsmart the market makers. I literally have zero insight to do such. I'd rather just do what the hell they're doing. Isn't that easier? I'm not trying to take these guys on heads up. I mean, it's like, most years are not. It'd be like, I just want to bet on Alabama. Not this year, but I just want to bet on Saban. I bet on Tom Brady. I want to bet on Jordan. I just want to do what they're doing. I don't want to be the underdog. I don't want to try to outsmart these guys. I literally just want to do what is easy. And what's easy? To take the most amount of money from the most amount of people. Y'all remember Jim Rome, the actual speaker, not the one who's the sportscaster? Do what's easy. So talking, the motivational guy. But does this make sense? We're not trying to outsmart the market. Talk like Seinfeld. We're not. No, I'm not trying to be smarter in the market. I'm not trying to buy Walgreens. Like, oh, maybe I know something that's going to pop and do all sorts of. No, maybe not. I don't know. I don't care. I don't want to try to make this hard. I really want to try to make this as easy as effing possible. If you're here in this channel hanging out, that is the goal. It's to make it easy. If you want to trading to take on your life, take over every moment of every day to try to watch the trades and the charts, you're doing this wrong. I'm telling you, you're doing this wrong. You're going to burn out. You're going to lose your hair. You're going to have erectile dysfunction. You're going to have stress beyond repair. You're going to live a life of just frustration. The goal is not to outsmart the market makers. That is dumb. If there's a mass fleecing over here, all right, it's like we're being like it's like a remora on a shark. We're just swimming with them. Oh, you're going to tear up that? I'll have a little bite of that. Thanks. We'll grow slowly. But if you want to be the big dog, you're going to get screwed, though. I got both. What do you got? What do you got both of? What do I do now? What's your question? Zeph, what do you have both of? Jim Rome and market makers? Pause. It's bad for ratings. I can see like the actual ratings on another screen here. I'll pop this into you guys. If you've never seen what a stream live looks like, it's like, all right, start making fun of Scott. Or sorry, Scott speaking. Making fun of Scott rises. And again, I'm not trying to be mean, man. It's just like, I don't understand this infatuation with doing, like, it's like, must be like some sort of thing, like groupthink where I used to be involved. I get it. Like you're sitting around with a bunch of people who are like, I read this and I read this news and I read that and I read that. I'm smart. I read Investment Business Daily. I saw on StockTwits. I saw on Motley Fool. I saw on Zero Hedge. I saw it on Alpha Trades or okay. Okay, you got like the recycled doo-doo information that's been like refined to a polished turd. It's what good is it now? They want you to know. They want you to know now. So what good is it? Right? Oh, here. Now we'll tell you that, hey, NVIDIA is the future of AI. Buy it in the 450 plus range. Dude, it boggles my mind. It's just like you learn at some point in life. And again, maybe you apply this to your whole life, but I'm just saying in the markets, like the news media for markets is refined turd, polished up turd. There's no, maybe every once in a while there's a diamond in there, but you're going to have to sort through a lot of crap to find it. And by the time, again, don't we always joke about like every time Occidental comes out and they report, yeah, they're pushing energy. Exactly. Why do you think we want to short it? Thank you, Brian. You literally just read my mind. Every time, literally, every time they announce Buffett buys more shares, zip, zip, what's he doing? On his own headlines, he's selling covered calls. He's like, oh, you idiots. He probably takes some He doesn't probably sell shares. He just probably sells deep in the money covered calls. Nice. I made it before it finished. What's up, bro? You got any questions? I'm just kind of ranting about the realization that 99.9% of the information you're getting fed is crap for the markets. That's the reality of it. None of us, you're not an insider. What CEO is ever going to say anything bad about his company? What do you know that's coming out in the news is probably meant for a narrative for the markets, right? It's not, oh, let's get everybody rich. No, that's not how this works. The news they're giving you is not to make you rich. When did the stock market become some sort of generous donation ATM for the masses? It's never been that. Never. Yes, you're welcome, man. Yes, the hike, there's no chance of a hike, but they're like talking like, well, if the Fed pauses, maybe they're slowing down the rate hikes. It's like, holy crap, there's literally a pause until like, let me just review this again because I'm like, what is it? June? June is the next potential move, even as a pause. And again, we know this will change. But literally right now, there's no rate hike from now to June of next year. Look. Nope. Pause. 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 Cut, maybe? Definitely a cut. So this whole narrative, again, is it... I'm going to cry. I'm going to cry. Excuse me while I get some tissues. I mean, that's the thing, right? Like the market, like the narratives on TV are telling you they're going to raise interest rates. Look at the Fed fund futures. There's not even a rate hike in the freaking next year possibly on the books right now. And I got folks coming here talking like, well, I read this and I read this and I do that. And I think Schwab that. Like, what the fuck? It's like going to your bookie and asking you like, hey, what bet? It's like going to the casino and be like, what should I play? Asking the pit boss, yeah, play this game. I mean, it's like one day you'll wake up, we all do, realize that that's just the reality of it. And sadly, it's like, I mean, that's why, if you guys see my office, I'm here in my living room in this beautiful paired home that I had to move into while we're in a separation. I've got my big screens. I don't even have a TV in my house. I don't have a TV. I don't need to sit here and watch financial news. Never watch it. Never. Because I don't even want to let, like, again, I don't even want to let turds like doo-doo juice like seep into my brain and start listening to this crap. Did you see the Nigerian brothers? What? Oh, God, no. Do you see Kramer said no? I didn't see any of it. Why do you think Buffett lives in freaking Omaha, fucking Nebraska? He's not watching CNBC. He's not paying attention to anything. He's not talking to brokers in New York. He doesn't give a shit. Here's the question. Do you think they're still distributing or just fleecing at this point? I don't really understand how this takes this long to sell. I saw your GS tweet on Apple. What? Okay, Brian. Well, this is a good question. Time. This is the one factor in trading that's incredibly difficult. Just like Caterpillar. Time. If the market makers have to absorb shorts, right? Don't you think they want to unwind them higher? So you can play this game of chop until they distribute their book again. And then they'll pull the plug. And they'll play this game over and over and over. So that's what's so hard about just in general, shorting, longing, timing of things. Like it's just, there's not an exact answer to this. And that's why, you know, the more you're up, the less you own. You start hitting reference points. You take your money. Because, you know, at some point, if you see the volume come in, it's, you know, who's the big money catching the momentum? It's not you and me with our piddly accounts trying to buy X amount of shares. It's guys with freaking absorption potential to stop it. So that it's a good question. It's really hard. It's really hard. And so that's where it's like, okay, look at this action down here. I mean, could you say that it's accumulation? I don't know. But somebody had to catch that big gap. And so now they may have gotten some of their shares out, but they might want to try to get a little higher. This is hard. ID Doc, what's up, Sammy? It's not important what the Fed will do, but important how the markets react to the Fed action and statements. Yes, agreed. And that's why if they go, oh, look, they're going to rate hike it, now pause. What do you think the market might do for a minute, an hour, a day, maybe even a couple days? Rally on this new narrative. The Feds have realized they can't raise anymore. Yay! Whee! How exciting. Right? That makes sense? So grid, that's a great point. Yes. It's not, doesn't matter what they do. It's the narrative. That's why we're always trying to talk about this. Like, do you guys not realize, like, I sit here after trading this and see, it's like watching the same, like, game over and over and trying to figure out, all right, what's the narrative? Like, I've seen this game before. What is the narrative they're going to use to try to explain this away? Does this make sense? If the goal is to take the most amount of money from the most amount of people, it's like reoccurring narratives. It's like watching one of those like TV shows on HBO or Showtime or whatever. They just like talk about how the media like works around creating narratives to influence the masses. Well, think about what they're doing within the markets. It's the same thing. The first reaction will be the wrong reaction. We hope so. I mean, again, that's typically what it is. Yeah. I mean, if we drop at the initially, it'll probably rally back. That's where I'd be looking to sell calls on my leverage ETFs potentially near term. It is Groundhog Day. I'm just like, again, I'm beyond the point sometimes with people who just, if you want help, great. If you're new here, anybody who knows me, I will gladly give you my time. But don't waste my time. If you've been hanging out for months, years, and you still have the same problems and you have the same questions and the same understanding, it's like, it's not me who's going to help you fix these things. And I'll end it with this analogy. Like, and again, maybe this is personal. I don't care. You know, a lot of you guys know dealing with marriage issues, and a lot of it was communication. Well, again, I think I'm a very good communicator, but clearly not a good communicator to significant others, because all my relationships have always kind of ended really rocky, and I didn't know that, and I just thought, oh, it was the other person. Well, no, I have what's called abandonment issues. As soon as I feel like someone's giving up on me, I get cold and I just don't care. I don't communicate well. I get easily like consumed in my work. I start putting my head into other things, so I don't have to actually shine the light on myself and go, I'm the fucking problem. Well, I'm the problem. And now what do you think I've done with my communication, working on reconciling and working? And again, whether we get back together, I hope. If not, doesn't matter. Communicate. It was my fault. I started realizing, why wouldn't I take the same approach that I do in any of my work habits? If there is a reoccurring failure, point of mistake that repeats over and over, do not blame anyone else but yourself. Because it was easy for me to blame at the beginning of all of our potential marital crap when it started popping up. I'm like, that's not my fault. I'm a great communicator. I can sit on here and talk for hours with people, and I meet with clients that people love me. You're lying to yourself. And it's no different in trading. Like, you have to look at yourself and you go, okay, I mean, if Emu Conspiracy's on here, like, he's a trader in the Discord room. He means well. He's always like posting trading at random ass times. I'm like, he's like, oh, I'm going to short the market now. And it's like, whoa, market's down most of the day. It popped a little bit. Well, what's tomorrow? It's the Fed day. Would we not wait for that? And then he had a trade on Monday, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, this is the guy. And again, I'm not trying to pick on him, but this is like the kind of stuff that like the market makers are like love to pick off. Not trading at extremes, trying to overtrade, and just, it's like you're generously donating money. And I don't mean to be mean to these folks, but if you do the same damn thing over and over and over and over and over again, I have patience and compassion, but at some point I'm just like, all right, I've tried to help you a dozen times last week, and you're still making that same issue. You're not trading at extremes. You're not letting the market come to you. You just feel like because you have the account open and the market's open and you're watching the 10-minute and it looks like maybe it might be a good spot, it's time to trade. No, think out, zoom out mentally. What's coming? Do I want to put on monster long or short positions, market related, that are market risk related right before the FOMC? No, because that's rolling the fucking dice. I don't know which way it's going to go. I have a sneaky suspicion they're going to try to drop it and then rip it right back. And then maybe Thursday, Friday, they dump it. But either way, it's like, do yourself a favor. Look in the mirror. I'm telling you, have a journal. Look at your mistakes. All of your mistakes have probably a reoccurring pattern. Yep, right? Exactly. The store is always open. I'm telling you, there is a reoccurring pattern. And again, I'm being vulnerable. Someone will be like, oh, you have an abandonment issue? What's wrong with you? No, it's because every time in my previous relationships, starting off when I was very young, a woman cheated on me. Well, what do you think I felt? Like, in your subconscious is trying to protect yourself. Remember, all of these negative behaviors were formed to protect your psyche and your ego and your livelihood, right? So what became the deeper meaning in my brain to all relationships? Relationships equal pain. Remember? In one of your first relationships, you were a good guy, you're a good person, you took care of them, great, they cheat on you. Okay, now my brain has associated those two things together to protect me for the rest of my life. Well, I never thought any of that would happen in these other relationships, but again, the recurring pattern in my behavior was what? As soon as I sniffed problems, I just backed off. It was easier just to shut down. It was easier to go into my own head and not be able to reconcile the reality of these, my wife isn't trying to hurt me. But my natural behavior would be to do what? Retract. And so think about how this relates to trading. And I can explain to you. I could go on for hours about this because this is a psychology that's no damn different. Maybe I'm trying to give you guys a real life example. This is the shit that you will see in your own trading. Like, what is your cause for feeling like you have to trade right now? If you have a trading journal that says this is going to happen, what should happen, the potentialities and everything, and you find yourself just sitting there watching the market going, I just need to do something. And even if it's just a little amount, I love when people go, oh, it's just a small trade. It's not a big deal. It is a big deal because you're feeding your ego and your subconscious the wrong shit. And now all of a sudden, you're going to sit there in anxiety. It's not a large amount. I don't care if I lose. Now you're lowering your standards. You're going, well, it's okay to lose. Is it? Is it okay? Think about the psychology that you are breaking, or you're not reinstalling, but you're literally repaving constantly the neural pathways for making mistakes later. Because if we do it on a small level, wouldn't it feel natural on a bigger level? Does this make sense? This is the realest shit you're probably going to hear. People, listen, does this make sense? When you do negative patterns with small money, what do you think you're going to be comfortable with larger trades? Do you think you're going to be able to flip the switch? All of a sudden, I have the most amazing risk management, but I'm going to just not have it with small trades. Doesn't work like that. The brain loves consistency. The laws of the subconscious is like your brain loves to do what it knows. It loves to do what it knows. Well, if you're going to rationalize small losses, I guarantee at some point you are going to rationalize a huge monster fucking loss. And when you do, you're going to go, whoa, what happened? I lost my confidence. What happened? I didn't see that coming. Yeah, I did. You should have seen it coming. And again, losses are like learning lessons, though. You have to like flip it around and go, okay, well, all right, next time I'm not going to do that. Now you're creating consistency with your subconscious and your mental pathways. No losses are acceptable. Minimal losses are acceptable. Be thoughtful. Trading to trade is gambling. If you want to make this about gambling, I'm telling you right now, you're going to roll the dice and you're going to lose. Make this about risk management. Again, you're trying to get rich, right? Same here. But you're not going to get rich making $10,000 and then losing $10,000. You're not going to get rich making $1 million and losing $800,000. You're not going to get rich. Like, you don't realize you can do a lot of good and just easily throw it all away. I'm sorry this live has gone on, but this is some of the most important shit, because going into moments of higher volatility and unknowns, this is the problem. People revert back to their basic psychology and they don't even realize it. If you're a gambler, if you don't have patience, you don't have the ability to wait for trades to come to you, you don't have the ability to just step back and look at the bigger picture because you see the market's open, I got to do something. These are the things that are going to catch you over and over. And they say karma, people try to pretend karma, like good karma, bad karma. No, it's not. Karma is getting the same lesson over and over until you fucking learn it. That's what karma really is. The universe is going to give you the same lessons over and over until you learn them. Well, think about how it happened. And again, I'm being completely vulnerable here with my relationship. This happened in every single relationship. I had abandonment issues. And guess what? I never learned it. So it never changed. Because hardwired, I didn't even see it. Like, it's almost like you can't even see yourself. Does this make sense? You can't even see yourself, but you can see the fucking results. And so you have to rewind and look back. Why do you do it? Why do you do it? Why do you feel like it's okay to just gamble to gamble? That's taking your mind out of the trading process and going, well, all of trading is just a gamble. That's subconsciously what you believe. If you believe it's okay to gamble, then guess what? You're going to gamble. Now you're addicted to the gambling. Like, I don't want this to be an addiction. Do you not realize, I guess some of the folks I talk to constantly, they're like, do you sit and watch the market? I'm like, no. Hell fucking no. I don't want to sit there and build up anxiety, tension in my shoulders, right? Tension in my, back, all this stuff that constantly builds because your cortisol levels are going to be rising as you watch the market because it's unknown. No, take a deep breath. Back the fuck off. Does this make sense? Does this make sense? If you're sticking around, listen, does this make sense? You are the problem. And when you try to rationalize your problems with me and I call you out on it, it's not because I don't love you. And it's not because I'm trying to be mean to you. It's not because I'm trying to make you realize I've been there. You're going to make a bigger mistake. It's like watching the Titanic sink slowly. You have reoccurring negative patterns and beliefs. You're going to do the same stupid shit over the time. I still make mistakes. I'm not perfect. None of us are. But this is where this trading room, this Discord, it's to hold each other accountable. And when I see people come and whine and go, oh, this happened. Learn from the mistake. Appreciate it. Oh, you were wrong. Do you think in your trading career you're going to be right every trade? No. Like, what is the purpose of constantly whining and not being appreciative? There was a lesson to learn here. When someone says, oh, I bought calls on Tuesday or Monday, and then the market dropped and I got stopped, I'm like, well, what were you buying calls on? Were you at an extreme? No, I was just trading because it's a small amount. I don't know. That is again, it's like consistency. The brain loves consistency. If you can't be consistent, guess what? Then your personality does not develop into what? Strong level of mindset and dedication to what you have to do. Because it's not what you do when you're right, it's what you do when you're wrong. You can be wrong 9 out of 10 times, but if you turn that 10th loss or that one loss into an absolute bomb, your confidence is gone. You're starting over, and you're going to be in the cycle over and over and over again. And I know there's a few of you guys that understand this. You've been stuck in a cycle of winning, losing, winning, losing, winning, losing your whole life in trading. And you're going to go, what's the market? It's a condition. No, it's you. It is absolutely you. You have to acknowledge it, step back, go, what are the patterns? What are the things that I do wrong? Here, I'll tell you what I do wrong. Right? Here's what I know so much about the market that sometimes my ego thinks I'm going to be right more times than not. And I am, and I have to catch myself. Right? I just have to catch myself. Like, here's a Moderna trade. Again, wrong on the 10-minute. And then we'll end it there. So there's a setup on the 10-minute. I've seen this a bazillion times. Here you go. It can happen. You see the reference point. We got down. We rallied back. Here's the morning high. We base at the high. Usually the base high is a breakout later in the afternoon. Didn't happen. That's all. You stop out. And I mean, it's not a mistake, but that's just a reality. Like, I acknowledge this is how it can happen. I've seen this a million times. But don't you think I'm like sitting here like, oh, hell yeah, give me that money. No, it just didn't happen. We'll see if it happens tomorrow again. We've got some trades on it. But again, in my mind, I'm going back to neutral. All right. Any other thoughts, concerns, questions? I mean, this is powerful stuff. I mean, again, you have to realize you were just trying to interpret the market. Stop trying to outsmart it. I'm telling you, some of you guys are so dumb that you think you can outsmart the market. I used to be that way. Oh, I'm going to figure out what's going to happen. No, why don't you just do what the market makers want the market to do? Oh, I'm going to try to buy this stock and catch this piece of crap falling knife. Or I'm going to try to pick the top and know I'm going to go all in. Or I'm not going to have risk management. I'm not going to define my risk. And I'm just going to, oh yeah, I'm going to buy bonds here and I'm just going to disappear for a couple months and see what happens. Okay? If it holds, great. If it's not, could be a monster loss. Oh, I expect gold to go back to $1,200 an ounce. Okay. Again, do I ever sit here and go, do you hear me do a ton of price targets? Do you guys notice that? I don't sit around here going, oh, my long-term trade is to get to this price. How often do I say, look at this price target on a swing trade, like upside or downside? I don't know until the trade plays out. I'm not going to sit here and paint a picture in my mind that it has to go to a certain price, because what then happens? I start believing it has to happen before I take money, and I don't, and then I start ignoring the evidence, and then I start painting a picture of what I want to see versus what will happen. Does that make sense? Why I don't sit here and just go price target, everything? The more I'm up, the less I own. You know where that lesson came from? Price targets. Oh, I'm going to only sell when we hit Apple fills the gap. I'm only going to sell Apple when it fills the gap, or short it. Guess what? It doesn't fill the gap. I hope this helps, man, because I'm telling you, I'm passionate about this part. This stuff is the real fucking difference between you being mediocre and a fucking killer in the markets. Doing what the market maker does. Recognizing your own weaknesses. Having a journal and absolutely exploiting the shit. And getting into your head and going, I make the same mistakes over and over. Guess what? If I eliminate those mistakes, how much better of a trader am I going to be? It's literally like fine-tuning. It's not like you're a complete idiot. I'm a complete idiot. No. It's just fine-tuning the mechanisms that causes our losses. Fired up today. Because again, I drank a Dutch Brothers Rebel Freeze that has a ton of caffeine and sugar in it, clearly. So yes, I am wound up, but I'm also a care, man. I have this conversation so many times with people, and I want people to get this. You are the problem. I mean, maybe that's the next saying. It's going, don't bring a ruler to trading, and you are the problem when it comes to your own trading losses. Create the sticker. You're an idiot. Dan, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. Yeah. Oh, I start believing my own hype. Oh, I'm going to put price targets up here. I think Schwab can't go out of business. Oh, I should buy Walgreens because I think it's a deal. Stop with the insanity. Try to do what's easy. Go short oil service names. Go look at Moderna potentially pop because we're going into COVID season. Look for the market to do what during the FOMC. Like, why is it so hard to just not focus on the easiest things in the market and then try to exploit them with great potential and higher probabilities? Again, if you have not read the Livermore book, memorize it. Reminiscence of a Stock Operator. All right, I'm outie. 5,000. Y'all have a great night. Appreciate all the love, support, generous donations. Again, donations are never expected, but appreciated. Hopefully the tuition bill, for the love of God, you won't have to make all the same damn mistake. Because one day, again, in the Discord room, I want people to hold each other accountable. I want people to feel like they can say what they're going to do, but also learn. If you're sitting there like thinking you're going to pick something up out of like just from being around, no, you got to get involved. You got to get in the game. All right. Yeah, of course, Deanna. You guys have a great night. Peace, peace to the Middle East.